When we had last left the Nameless One, well, they finally traveled out to the Clerk's ward where they were investigating all of the fancy rich folks who lived out there. And what treat were they in store for? But they also learned a lot, not just about the area, but also about the many factions of Sigil, which was, frankly, quite a bit. And following that, they ran into none other than Namel out at a local outside bar, where they were able to, in some way, communicate with Namel in a mysterious sort of way, but did manage to get the decanter of endless water finally operational in a way that it could actually be wielded. And so they traveled all the way back to the hive and poured the water over Ignis, who became freed, but also was still really on fire. So I'm not actually really sure what, how the freedom even worked. Like, what? Yeah, now that I think of it, how did Ignis get out? Like, if he was still on fire after the fact, was it just less on fire? Maybe? Nonetheless, they chatted with Ignis where come to find out that the Nameless One is the one who was responsible for all of Ignis's past and becoming this horrifying, feral, even like barely human being, right? And Ignis wasn't too happy after some amount of confrontation, and they decided to kill his ass. So they had gained a party member and very quickly lost one. This is Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition. Welcome back. Now, also, as you can see, some folks wrote in with information about that it's probably okay to actually kill him if I want to. If I want to go that route, it's probably all right. Evidently, he's maybe a bit better for you if you're more of a evil or chaotic character, which makes a lot of sense, all things considered, now that we talked to him. And it feels kind of fitting to do almost a mercy killing, you know, in the middle of our conversation of kind of apologizing to him for a past incarnation's actions, you know? It kind of feels right to me. It feels right. But we are now out in Ignis. But thankfully, it seems like it won't matter too much, you know, and there should be other party members that we can get. There should be more than 6 people that we can have in our party, ourselves included. Anyway, for the time being, let's do a quick save and level up Anna real quick. Who gets, no, actually doesn't get any thief skills. Fighting skills improve, 5 HP, 2 HP from con. Sure. Okay. Well, let's get on out of here. We'll head back to the Clerk's ward, I think. No? Oh, should I talk to people in and around here? Yeah, let me at least speak to, oh, where did they go to? There was a person who was almost always stationed right out here. Like one of the, a barkeeper or barmaid or something like that, a waiter. And they told us a bit about... Yeah, they're not there. Okay, well, I'm gonna talk to Barkus. Back again! What now? Okay, nothing. Farewell. What about... maybe it was Elias? The Prime looks at you disgustedly. What do you want? The way he accents the pronoun is almost infuriating and definitely insulting. Relax, I just wanted to ask you some questions. From your attitude, it appears to me that you need nothing further from me, and it would please me greatly if you would not trouble my presence with yours. Good day. He turns stiffly away from you. Look, I apologize for what I said to you before. I just need some questions answered. You have said what you have said, and I've taken it to heart. Yet never let it be said that I am entirely rigid. What would you ask of me? Okay, can I apologize to you again? Okay. He appears entirely shocked, as if the notion of apologies is alien to him. You wish to apologize. That's right. That's what I said. Didn't we do this before? Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did all this. All right, very well. Can you answer some questions for me? Okay, goodbye.
All right.
No one wants to talk about Ignis anymore. Okay, well, let's get out of here then. What did I write in my journal? Ignis claims I am his master, the one who taught him the art. He says it's the only reason he obeys me. Hour 19. I had a strong memory when I confronted Ignis about his teacher. Apparently, at some point in the past, I was the one who taught Ignis the ways of the art. Though I think Ignis learned the wrong lessons from me. No, I don't think so. I think we were really abusive and shitty. I think we're very, very responsible for how poorly Ignis turned out. Right? I think we were a piece of shit. Okay.
Hey,
let's see. Let's head on up here.
Just look natural. Casual.
Good. Do a quick save. Okay. Over here. And where should I head? Should I go to the Clerk's ward? Yeah, let's go to the Clerk's ward. We can check out the sensorium or whatever it was, the sensate location.
I'm gone.
Or was it the brothel? We'll check out one of them. The brothel of slating intellectual lusts. Oh, okay. You know what? It's right there. Let's do it. Jolmi's messenger. Sir, might I have a word with you? Okay, hello. This slender young man approaches you wearing a somewhat worried expression. 1,000 pardons, sir, but I'm looking for a certain man, and I think you might be able to help me. Oh, how so? I'm a messenger, sir, who seeks a man it's said cannot die. A scarred man, for whom death is nothing but the most trivial of annoyances. You match the admittedly vague description I was given, sir, and I had wondered if you were he. Yeah, that's me. No, that's not me. Who wants to know? I am in the hire of a wealthy noblewoman, Jolmi Sirma, sir. Well, you've got the wrong man. I am the man you're looking for. Yeah, that's me. He nods, then bows deeply to you. A message for you, then, sir. Mistress Yolmi of the... Is it Yolmi or Jolmi? I guess it could be either until we find out proof otherwise. Mistress Jolmi of the House Smirma, a lady of high standing, has sent me. Mistress Jolmi would meet you in the Civic Fest Hall, where she would make a proposal, of which I know nothing, to you. Should you choose to seek her out, she wears green silks trimmed with gold and has hair the color of blue steel. That is the extent of my message, sir. Farewell. Wait, where's the Civic Fest Hall? Let's see what he has to say.
My journal.
In the northeastern corner of this part of the Clerk's ward, sir. 'Tis a large structure and should be easy to spot. Farewell now, sir. Okay, farewell.
Gold Ward, also known as Wanker City.
Done.
What's she calling it? Old Ward? How many names does this place have? Upper Ward, Clerk's Ward, Old Ward.
Done.
Okay. Oh. Look at this. Even the entry area is somewhat horny shaped in a couple ways. Alright, let's go in. Is the door also horny looking? Can I close the door? I don't know. Oh, they play checkers here. Brothel patron. Fall from grace. Okay. Let's talk to one of these patrons over here before we speak with this named NPC. Delora. Modron? Modron? What are Modron? Okay. Sure, some kind of bat thing. Oh, hang on, brothel patron. The man's brow is deeply furrowed in concentration. As you approach, he looks to you and nods curtly. Yes. I had some questions. Nothing, I was just passing by. Farewell. The fucking music in here is so wild. Right? Maybe it's all the people in the, like, very flowy robes and shit. But it's giving Star Trek The Next Generation pleasure planet. Right? The crew just beamed down to a pleasure planet. Uh-oh, and what's this? Wesley's causing a bit of trouble. He's breaking the rules. Uh-oh. All right, I had some questions. He looks slightly annoyed, but says nothing. You seem troubled? What are you doing here? What can you tell me about this place? Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Never mind, actually. Farewell. You seem troubled? The man frowns. No, not quite troubled. I'm merely trying to puzzle out a way to win against Delora. Who? I've yet to play against her myself. Oh, in checkers? There's Delora, I think, right there. Who? Delora is one of the prostitutes here. Reserved, well-educated, most intelligent. Mind like a razor, truly. If you fancy a challenge, try and best her in a game of strategy. You've never beaten her, then? He shakes his head, frowning. I used to play against a woman here named Vivian, and came to think of myself as quite skilled. But then I met Delora. I've a strong suspicion that Vivian was allowing me to win those games, but I've never asked her. I had another question. What are you doing here? I'm resting after a resounding loss at the hands of Delora. I feel I almost bested her this last time, though. So I'm trying to think of what I can do to win the next time we play. All right, another question? What can you tell me about this place? Look, I've got things to think about, so if you wouldn't mind... wait, let me ask you something else. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? No. The man smirks, then sighs. Well, yes. She is a night hag. She was cast into one of the ladies' mazes. She's the object of over 100 frightening children's tales. But I'll wager that's not the sort of information you're after. All right, I had another question. Do I? No, never mind, actually. Farewell. Okay.
Done.
And let's talk to you. What are you? You have huge wings. Are you like some sort of fiend? We had heard of you from before, from someone out at the bar. Before you is a stunning golden-haired woman, dressed in an azure and violet dress, with two long, elegant wings draped across her shoulders. She is surveying the room with a slight smile. She is easily the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. Wow, okay. Greetings. Ignore the winged woman. Explore the building. Greetings.
Well met, traveler. How may I help you?
Oh my god. Are you a follower? Look, so far, voice characters being followers, that being a rule, it hasn't steered us wrong. The woman turns as you address her. She takes your measure, then nods slightly. You notice her eyes are azure, the exact same color as her dress. Well met, traveler. She reaches up to brush back a stray lock of golden hair. I think she has an American accent. In fact, I don't know. I was about to say, is this Jennifer Hale again? How may I help you? Who are you?
Updated my journal.
I'm called Fall from Grace. She studies you for a moment. You are new to Sigil, are you not? Yes, I am. Does it show? No, I suspect I've been here for quite some time, actually. Fall from Grace. That's an interesting name. This is not a matter I wish to discuss at the moment. Farewell. Yeah, I am new, sort of. I mean, yeah, sort of, in a way. I'm more inclined to say that I am new. If someone asked, right, I like this as a fun little litmus test, you know, for like where the player's mind is at. If someone asks if you're new to Sigil, do you say yeah or no? I would say yes. Because to convey the information that I don't really have any information, right? Right, I don't really know anything. You know, I haven't really been here. Okay, yeah, I am. Does it show? She smiles slightly. Not as much as you might think. You carry yourself quite well. What is this place? This is the brothel of slating intellectual lusts. She studies you for a moment. I take it by your question that you did not intend to partake of this establishment? Brothel of slating intellectual lusts? What kind of brothel is this? Yeah, of course they were they were playing games of strategy, of course. Okay, what kind of brothel is this? I established this brothel to give those lustful fevers that strike the mind more avenues of expression, rather than the simply carnal. Much pleasure can be had in conversation and engaging in the verbal arts with others. Ooh. Mort says, sounds dull. I assure you it is not. Tour the brothel. See for yourselves. So this is a brothel, where there's no intercourse? I have to ask, why did you establish such a place? I may do that. Can I ask you some other questions first? Can I ask both of these? I want to hear more. I want to hear her explain more of it. So this is a brothel where there's no intercourse. I mean, there is, but it's just not sexual in nature, right? It's not physically sexual. Ah, I fucking got it! Only of a psychological nature. Rest assured, it is still quite stimulating. I have to ask, why did you establish such a place? Fall from Grace raises an eyebrow. That is an odd question, she frowns. I don't think anyone has ever asked me that, at least directly. Really? No one has ever asked you that? How long have you been open? Okay, well, why did you? Part of the answer to your question requires that you know that I am a member of the Society of Sensation. Our faction believes that one should experience as much of the multiverse as possible. And that is why you established this place? I see. No need to explain anymore. Can I ask you some other questions? Perhaps I will tour the brothel then. Farewell. And that is why you established this place? The brothel is intended to slate the lusts of even the hardened intellectual. It is designed to stimulate the mind, to heighten one's awareness of themselves and others, to create new ways of experiencing another person. It is for those who seek something more than the shallow physical pleasures that fill the hive in lower wards. I see. So this establishment just encourages intellectual fencing rather than, well, the other kind of fencing. The women here must be special indeed. Can I ask you some other questions? Perhaps I will tour the brothel then. Farewell. I feel like what outs this line as being penned in like late 90s, early aughts is the last sentence. The women here must be special indeed, right? It's so almost like, I don't know, condescending or precocious in a way, or it's patronizing. It's a little bit patronizing in a way that's meant to be like, I'm not being patronizing. I'm being, I'm admiring everything. I'm admiring the women here, right? Whenever he just, right? In some ways ahead of its time, and in other ways, I don't know, a little of its time, I guess, right? I feel like that such is the way of a lot of this game, you know? It's this. So far, my experience with Planescape Torment is very peculiar, right? I wouldn't say that I'm, like, blown away, right? I wouldn't say I'm, like, mind blown by it, but it has been it's been pretty damn enjoyable. But most of all, it has been fascinating. It has been so fascinating as, like, an insight into, like, games being made at the time, and in particular, like, the influences that this game had on others at the time, right? It's definitely rough around the edges, right? The cult classic status is so warranted. I feel, man, I should be saving this for the final video in the playthrough. I find myself, like, all the time, like, I don't know, I would guess we're, like, halfway through, because it's supposed to be a decently short game. But I always find myself, like, analyzing my time with the game about halfway through, and, like, that's sort of the vibe of the game, you know? I don't know, we'll see how the ending is, but that's the sense that I get, you know? Like, there's parts of it that definitely haven't aged as well. Like, I still think Fallout 1, of all the, like, actual classic CRPGs that we have played on the channel, I still think Fallout 1 ages ridiculously well. I think Fallout 1 has aged so absurdly well, you could legit just release the game exactly as it was. I mean, I guess you could tune up the graphics a little bit, but, you know, modernize the graphics in such a way. But everything else about, from the mechanics and the writing and the, like, even the voice delivery and all that, I think all of that stuff holds up remarkably well. Here in Planescape Torment, like, there is something very special and very unique compared to its contemporaries. You know, nothing else has really attempted this in such a way, which is very wild in and of itself, you know? I would say that this is maybe the most... Would I say that? This might be the most fascinating game that I've played on the channel to date. Right? I think this covers... This is the most fascinating game I've played on this channel. Is it the most fascinating game I've played ever? I don't know. Anyway, sorry. I see. So this establishment just encourages intellectual fencing rather than, well, the other kind of fencing. The women here must be special indeed. The women here are aspiring sensates. They have come to me in search of instruction, to prepare themselves to enter the faction. Also, many of them have a natural grasp of language that can shatter the crust of the most hardened individual. Sensates? I see. So the ladies here are ladies in training, so to speak. Can I ask you some other questions? I see. So the ladies here are ladies in training, so to speak? Yes, I hope that by learning the art of language and its subtleties, that the patrons and the students here may learn more about themselves. One is only as limited as their command of the language. To be able to employ language to evoke emotions in others is a tremendous skill. I agree, yeah. It's kind of remarkable to think about, right? Like, language in and of itself, like being able to speak and have noises come out of your damn mouth. Just that, not even seeing the person, not even emoting, being enough to evoke emotion out of someone. I think it's incredible. You know, I think it's in some way, it's like indicative of like the beauty of the human spirit, right? Right? Not to get a little too like up my own ass here with this, with the thinking about this. Like, I don't know. I think it's beautiful. I think it's wonderful that human beings are capable of that. I think it's a wonderful thing. I find it amazing. It's one of the things that's great about, I don't know, being alive. Right? Not to get so sappy and what would you say? So, I don't know, sentimental, overly sentimental, but I think it's beautiful. All right. I see. Can I ask you some other questions? Yes. Who are you again? Those wings on your back. What are you? What is this place? I came here looking for help. Perhaps you can help me? Can you tell me about the sensates? Have you ever heard of a night hag named Ravel? Would you like to join me on my travels? Well, okay, there you go. No questions today, farewell. Okay. Who are you again? Okay, let me ask about your interesting name. I'm Fall from Grace. She smiles slightly. Can it be you have forgotten me already? Do you know something about me? Yeah, I bet she does. Because so far, well, no. Dakin doesn't. I was about to say, so far, everyone... Well, does Dakin know me? I forget. I got so wrapped up in his Gith Zerai, Zerthamon stuff that I've forgotten. But so far, doesn't everyone know me from before this life? Every follower has known me from a past version. I think. right? Even if that past version is just me as a dead body lying on the ground, in the case of Anna. Okay. Huh. Fall from Grace. That is an interesting name. She nods. I'm pleased that you like it. I'm fond of it myself. What does it mean exactly? The meaning of names is a complicated subject. There is much to be said, and a great deal that is better left unsaid. It is a tale for another time, I think. The meaning of names. Is Fall from Grace your real name? Perhaps. She smiles slightly. Perhaps not. There are names which are given and names which are earned. Who is to say which is the real one? Not I. I agree. That's what I had said before about Adon and all of that. Even being the Nameless One is a name in and of itself. You know? Very well then. Can I ask you some other questions? Yes? Those wings on your back, what are you? She's one of the fiends. One of the succubi, she is. She'll take your measure, then she'll take your soul to the lower planes, so she will. Your companion is correct. I am a lesser Tanaree, more specifically a succubus. She gives a soft sigh. I'm afraid we're a little too common in the lower planes and elsewhere for our own good. Most of my race spend their time seducing mortals with various pleasures of the flesh. And you?
Updated my journal.
I'd like to think that I have distanced myself from that. It is ultimately a trivial and non-productive way for one to spend one's time here in the multiverse. There is much more to life. Wouldn't you agree? You're like, what's the fucking word? You're a pansexual succubus, no? Isn't that right? If you're a succubus but only pertaining to, like, intellectual stimulation and desire, right? Wouldn't that be right? Huh. Okay. Perhaps so. Can I ask you some other questions? What is this place? Okay. Yeah, we've heard about that. Other questions? I came here looking for help. Perhaps you can help me. Help? What kind of help were you looking for? I seem to have lost my memories. In so doing, I've lost myself. You have been stricken with amnesia. Fall from Grace looks pained. How terrible. Do you have any idea how it happened? Not really. At least, not that I can remember. I woke up on a slab in the mortuary and everything before that is black. I'll say that. You awoke in the mortuary? I think the dustman mistook me for being dead. Or I was dead. Or something. All I know is that I regenerate wounds quickly. I could be immortal, but I don't even know that for sure. Fall from Grace seems to be appraising you with renewed interest. Those scars on your body. She reaches out a hand, as if to touch you. May I? Sure. Yeah. Actually, I'd prefer not to discuss this anymore. Can I ask you some questions? Perhaps we will speak about this another time. Farewell. Yeah, sure. Fall from Grace drags her finger across your chest, lightly, tracing the edges of your scars and following the curves where they blend into some of your tattoos. She seems fascinated. These scars do look as if they would have taken several lifetimes to accumulate. They certainly do, though some are more recent. I'd prefer not to discuss this anymore. Yeah, they certainly do. Fall from Grace steps back. Some of those wounds would have been fatal to a normal man. She taps her chin, thinking, what do you intend to do now? I need to get my memories back and my life back. I intend to scour the plains and search inside myself until I can piece together who I am and what brought me to this state. I don't really know. For the moment, I'm just searching for clues as to who I am and what happened to me. I don't intend to do anything. If there are answers, they will come to me in time. I'd prefer not to okay. I need to get my memories back and my life back. I intend to scour the plains and search inside myself until I can piece together who I am and what brought me to this state. I don't think so. I don't think I care that much. I only care insofar as how much a past incarnation affected other people in the world around me. Otherwise, you know, like we've talked about before, I'm a different guy. I don't really know. For the moment, I'm just searching for clues to who I am and what happened to me. But I do want to know, because I do think it's important to know that impact that you had, right? Because you don't want, you know, like in the case of Ignis, you don't want someone to see you and think that, you know, you've done a shitty thing when maybe you have, but you ain't like that no more. I don't intend to do anything. If there are answers, they will come to me in time. Now, I think number 2 is the best one, right? That's the one I prefer. I don't really know. For the moment, I'm just searching for clues to who I am and what happened to me. Fall from Grace is still thinking, her finger tapping on her chin. I must say, I've never met a man who had lost himself in the literal sense. She raises an eyebrow. Forgive me, but your condition is intriguing. I'm glad you think so. It is that. Intriguing? Frightening is more like it. I don't like not knowing who I am, what I may have done, who my enemies are, and who are my friends. I feel like 3 is a little too confrontational. I'll joke. Well, I'm glad you think so. I've offended you with my words. Fall from Grace bows her head. I give my apology if you will have it. Apology accepted. Never mind. No harm done. No harm done. Fall from Grace nods. If it will help, you are welcome to tour the brothel. Several of our students are well versed in the verbal arts. Perhaps some of them will be able to rekindle your memories. I may do that. Can I ask you some questions first?
Updated my journal.
Okay. Can you tell me about the Sensates? The Sensates are the faction of Sigil that is devoted to experience. Without experience, without sensation, we are blinded to much of the multiverse. Thus, Sensates seek to experience as much as possible. When all is experienced, then the truth of the multiverse shall reveal itself. Interesting philosophy. Could I join the Sensates? I do want to join them, but I feel like they're the final one that I would want to join. Right? Because I feel like I align most closely with their philosophy. So I'm not going to try to join them yet because there are others, at the very least the Dustman, who I think I would like to join up. Oh shit, and I forgot about the Aeskar guy. We need to do that. Apparently they're not technically a faction in the same sense, and we should like save before we do that, but I'm still nonetheless, I keep forgetting about that person. Okay, I see. Can I ask you some other questions? Have you ever heard of a night hag named Ravel? I'm familiar with the name. Fall from Grace pauses and thinks for a moment. Rumors cluster thickly about that name, and most tend to discount her as myth. But I suspect that she did exist, and that she made quite an impression in the cage during her stay here. She looks puzzled. Why do you ask? I intend to seek her out. Grace raises an eyebrow. Truly, I find myself compelled to ask why. Oh, I love that even her name is a litmus test. If you shorthand her name, Fall from Grace. Are you the type of person to refer to Fall from Grace as Fall or Grace? Okay. I need information that she has. Is this information available from no one else? I suspect that only Ravel possesses the knowledge I need.
Updated my journal.
Grace rests her hand lightly on your arm. Consider this. If Ravel does indeed exist, then she is extremely powerful and cunning. If a fraction of the stories of her activities are true, then she is a creature that has discovered new meanings of evil. To search for her is not a quest to be undertaken lightly. I realize that. Do you know anything else about Ravel? She was said to be one of the hags of the Grey Waste, and that she was believed to possess powers and a cunning far beyond those of her sisters. She came to Sigil long ago, and in addition to the evils she committed during her stay, rumor has it that her actions threatened the cage itself. Now she primarily exists only as fiction, a figure in children's stories. Grace pauses. I imagine the Lady of Pain dealt with her, as all threats to Sigil are dealt with. How? What is the Grey Waste? Is there anyone else who might know about her? Hopefully we can ask all three of these. How?
Updated my journal.
Ravel was most likely sent to a maze, one of the lady's prisons. Mazes? What are those? What is the Grey Waste? Mazes, what are those?
Updated my journal.
Grace places her hands together, thumbs and fingers touching, forming a rough circle. Oh. Is she doing the little symbol on her chest, or a different one? The lady is said to have the power to take pieces of Sigil. You watch in surprise as a ghostly image of Grace's little finger pulls itself from the hand and floats into the air, curling into a small circle, and make a maze. Okay. Go on. I see. Can you tell me more about this plane that Ravel is from, the Grey Waste? I think I understand. Is there anyone else who might know more? Go on. The small ghostly circle floats in the air, then begins slowly rotating. The piece of Sigil she takes holds the prisoner. There is no escaping being mazed. It can happen at any time. While walking down the street through a door, she claps her hands. And then, you are suddenly somewhere else. Inside the ghostly circle, you can suddenly see a flicker of movement, like someone walking inside. Go on. Grace continues, the tiny ghost maze reflected in her eyes. It is said there is a portal that leads out of each maze, but they are difficult to find. Perhaps they are left in to give the prisoner hope. Perhaps they are left in to torture the prisoner. The ghostly maze dissolves. Perhaps it is both. Yeah. How odd that... Yeah. Truly odd that the Lady of Pain would do this and give them an out. Okay. I see. Can you tell me more about this plane that Ravel is from, the Grey Waste? A blighted plane that lies effectively between Baator and the Abyss. It is frequently a battleground in the Blood War. Do you know what happened to Ravel? Is there anyone else who might know about her? If I ask about what happened to Ravel, is that just going to go back to the mazing? Yeah, okay, sent to a maze. Do you know anyone else who might know about her? Someone in the fest hall may know more of her. Okay, can I ask you more questions? Would you like to join me on my travels? Anna stiffens, then starts muttering under her breath. Who's to say she'll be coming with us? We dinna need the likes of her, so's we don't. Bar that, fiendling. Mort clicks his teeth together. I'm all for the succubus coming with us. The powers know you're about as fun as passing a caltrip through your bowels. You'd best latch your bone box, Skull, or I'll rattle you so hard they'll be picking your teeth off the spire. Travel with you? Fall from Grace smiles slightly. She seems to be ignoring your companions. That's rather forward of you. Yeah, it is. It is rather forward of me, but you did have a voice line or two. That's the way I am. I mean, how exciting can this place be? You're a sensei. Surely there must be a limit to how much you can learn here. Then I withdraw the request. Can I ask some questions instead? Then you have my apologies. I must take my leave. Farewell. Okay. You're a sensei. Surely there must be a limit to how much you can learn here. I think you would be surprised. If you want me to accompany you on your travels, I need a far more compelling reason than that. You mean you wouldn't be interested in traveling with an immortal amnesiac who is searching the plains for himself? Never mind. Can I ask you some questions instead? Well, I'll see if I can find a more compelling reason. Farewell. You mean you wouldn't want to be traveling with someone like me? Oh, I would be extremely interested. She smiles slightly. Such a suggestion is intriguing. Make no mistake about that. Then you would like to travel with me then? If you wish me to, then there is something you must do for me. There are 10 students in this establishment. I would like you to speak to all of them, then return to me with your thoughts. Then we shall see if we shall travel together or not. Very well. Can I ask you some other questions before I go? I'll go speak with them then. I'll return when I have spoken to all of them. Okay. Can I ask you something else first?
Journal.
No, okay, nothing else. Very well. Sure.
Right.
Let's talk to Delora here. There's Vivian. We heard of you. Delora? This dark-haired, pale-skinned woman has a cultured, refined look about her. As she turns to you, you note that her eyes, which you'd previously thought to be gray, are the color of brushed steel. I would say that's a type of gray. What? Okay. Greetings. The woman's voice is soft, calm, and without inflection. It has a certain far-away quality, as if somehow not attached to her. Greetings. I am called Delora. May I serve you somehow? In what ways can you serve me, Delora? Not really, but I had some questions. No, I just wanted to meet you. Farewell. In what ways can you serve me? She blinks her eyes, then touches her hand to her heart, bowing her head slightly. I am able to debate any scholarly or academic matter quite proficiently, if that is your wish. I'm also well versed in various games of strategy. Would you wish to play something? Though I have the materials for few such games here. I was hoping for something of a more physical nature. Debate, you say? Could we play a game then? Actually, could I just ask you a few questions? On second thought, I'll just take my leave. Farewell. You want to debate? I don't think I would want to debate. I think it'd be fun to... Right? I think I would be into talking about something, but debating? I don't know. Okay. Huh. All right, can we play a game then? Can we play a game? You got StarCraft 2? Though I'm not very good at. What's a strategy game that I'm very good at? I don't know. What even connotates a strategy game? You got Balatro? All right. Of course. Is there anything in particular you wish to play? Nah, I don't really remember any games. Actually, let me ask you some questions instead. Nah, not right now. Farewell. Nah, I don't really remember any games. Here then, allow me to show you one. Delora brings out a thin lacquered box, which unfolds into a small board marked with a grid. The contents of the box prove to be a number of polished stone chips. Half of them black, half of them white. Oh my gosh, are we playing backgammon? This game goes by many names. Shall I explain the rules to you? Okay, sure. Delora explains to you the rules of the game. How the chips are moved, how one bests one's opponent. It seems somehow faintly familiar to you. The rules are simple, yes, but a great deal of complexity lies within the game itself. It takes a great deal of time to master. Shall we play? Yes, let's. As you play, you come to realize that you've done so before. Even your best tricks, though, are nothing to Delora's well-calculating strategies. The game runs steadily downhill for you until you are, at last, beaten entirely. She does not smile or gloat, however, but quietly begins to put the game away. You seem to possess a good understanding of the game. In time, you could become quite good. Do you always play so mercilessly? Perhaps you mentioned debating before? Thanks, I had some questions. It's definitely the music, but this feels like, I feel like I'm fucking Will Riker on like a Pleasure Planet for real, you know? And I've actually like played a game of like backgammon with some alien Pleasure Planet lady. And he gets beaten and the camera fades back, that music is playing, he's like, do you always play so mercilessly? And then he goes over a chair backwards with his legs over the top of it. You know what I'm talking about? His fucking chair shit. Straightens his little, like, uniform. He grows a beard halfway through. Do you always play so mercilessly? Delora nods. Mistress Grace instructed me to hold nothing back, for another of her students plays so that her opponent will always just manage a win. It was Mistress Grace's desire that I provide a different sort of experience, a true challenge, rather than something that might be more pleasing to one's ego. I see. You mentioned debating before? I guess we'll go down this terrible road. Delora nods. That is correct. I am neither a tome nor a tutor. I have no desire to educate my patrons. Should you have a matter to discuss, however, the 15 factions and their effects on Sigillian politics, the most effective battle stratagems for warring in Acheron, the meaning of experience itself, of existence itself, I would be most pleased to choose a counterpoint and engage you in a debate. Choose a topic, see if you can best her. Okay. Oh, I don't actually go through it. Okay, this is a skill check then. You choose a topic and begin. At first, you seem to be holding up fine, but in time your position crumbles as Delora crushes one of your arguments with another after another with her infallible sense of logic. She seems to take no joy in her victory, however, and merely offers. If you would like, we can debate once more upon the same topic. I could argue your position this time, should you desire it. Wait, are you always so ruthless in a debate? Let's say that. Delora nods. Mistress Grace instructed me to show no mercy, for another of her students always allows a patron to win after a lengthy debate. It was Mistress Grace's desire that I provide a different sort of experience for the clientele. Okay, I have other questions for you. Delora casts her eyes to the floor with a sound that might be a sad sigh. I am willing to serve you as a patron, but have no wish to answer other questions at this time. My apologies, but I fear you shall simply have to bear with that for the time being. What's wrong? Anything I can help you with?
Updated my journal.
She looks up from the floor and into your eyes. Once more, you're struck by the pale smoothness of skin, the cold depths of her silvery eyes. No, I fear not. My troubles are a matter of the heart. In time, I think, all things shall be resolved. Are you certain there's nothing I could do? Certain? Delora pauses as if thinking. No, I am not. My first love, Merriman, possesses the keys to my heart. So long as he has them, I shan't be free to love another. This is the cause of my melancholy. Why don't you seek him out and speak with him? Then I'll find this Merriman and speak to him on your behalf. You're in luck. I can find Merriman for a price. I see. Farewell, Delora. Why don't you seek him out and speak with him? Delora shakes her head. I may not leave this place. The reasons why are deeply personal, and not to be shared with strangers, even ones who might bestow a kindness upon me. But suffice to say that I cannot seek out Merriman myself. Ooh, Delora, I like that. I'm gonna steal that. Okay. The reasons why are deeply personal and not to be shared with strangers, even ones who might bestow a kindness upon me. I like that a lot. That's a very good excuse. I'm going to take that, right? I'm like Mort here, except instead of carrying around like a dictionary of insults, I am carrying around a dictionary of excuses to weasel out of things. All right, then I'll find this Merriman and speak to him on your behalf.
Updated my journal.
Delora nods, the slightest hint of a smile appearing on her lips. She bows her head. Were you to find and speak with Merriman, I would be most grateful. He is a member of the Society of Sensation, so you may wish to ask for him at the Civic Fest Hall. I'll return when I find him. Okay. I like how every time we meet a new type of creature, it is, they come in a pack of 3. Are these robots? Subject sighted. Oh, you know what? I think I had heard of these, no? From this angle? Oh my gosh, okay. Let's talk. This strange cubic creature seems to be as much machine as it is organic. Okay, it's bioorganic. As you approach the thing, or biomechanical, I should say. Bioorganic. It's doubly redundant over itself. It silently stares at you with wide, unblinking eyes. Its face hasn't the slightest trace of emotion on it. Come on, Chief. We're in a building full of some of the sexiest chits this side of the multiverse, and you're stopping to talk to Modrons? What can you tell me about them, Mort? Ignore Mort. Greet the Modron. My apologies, Mort, but I'm talking to the Modron. Alright, let's go, Mort. What can you tell me about them? Mort makes a noise of utter disgust. What's there to say? Annoying little clockwork pests. They're always working to impose law and order upon the multiverse. Not good, mind you, just law. Let's just forget about them and go chat up the ladies, huh? Ignore Mort, greet the Modron. My apologies, Mort, but I'm talking to the Modron. Mort sighs loudly. Fine, whatever, but don't say I didn't warn you. You probably won't get anywhere with them, though, Chief. They're an odd lot to talk to. Greetings? Its voice has a metallic, reverberating quality to it, as if it were more a sound played out on some warped musical instrument than true speech. Your greeting is returned. They sound like fucking Daleks. There is a soft click as the creature blinks. An awkward silence hangs in the air between the two of you. I had some questions. Identify yourself to us. But my questions... No! It's not important who I am. Lie, I'm a Don. I'm not sure who I am. Forget it, farewell. I'm not sure who I am. We would know why this is so. It's not important, really. I don't know myself, I just can't remember. I'm a Don. Lie. Forget it, farewell. I don't know myself, I just can't remember. All things should have a name. All things should be identified. We find your answer unsatisfactory, but it shall have to suffice for the present. The creature pauses and blinks at you. We would identify ourselves as Modrons, quadrone type, winged variant, to the subject. I had some questions now. The subject is free to ask a question. What are you doing here? Either that or they sound like coneheads. What are you doing here? What can you tell me about this place? Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Never mind, actually, farewell. What are you doing here? Our purpose here is observation. What are you observing? We are observing one of the establishment staff. Who are you observing? As previously stated, we are observing one of the establishment staff. Yes, but who exactly are you observing? The object of our scrutiny is named Delora. Why are you watching her? We have not been informed as to the specific purpose or purposes which resulted in our being given our present task. The command of our superior pentadrone is a sufficient reason to perform said task. As such, the purpose or purposes are irrelevant to us. I had another question. The subject is free to ask a question. Okay. What can you tell me about this place? A building located in the section of Sigil, commonly known as the Clerk's Ward. We cannot give exact coordinates, as the surface of Sigil changes at intervals we have not determined as of the present. The building itself is known as the Brothel of Slaking Intellectual Lusts. It serves as what may be broadly defined as a language school. The students of the school are primarily females who intend to, at some point we have not determined, and which varies from student to student, become a factotum of the Society of Sensation. The Society of Sensation. We will provide a brief summary as to what the Society of Sensation is defined as. A faction whose core belief is that with experience comes true understanding of the multiverse and its secrets. Okay, I had another question. Do you know anything about Revel Puzzle Wall? Well, we know nothing of any being or object possessing such an appellation. Okay, another question? And that's it. Never mind, farewell. Yeah, I think I remember hearing about creatures like this. I forgot that they were in this game. But don't these Securitrons of New Vegas take some, like, design... what do you call it? Design nods? Specifically, Yes Man is meant to look like a Modron. Oh, here, let me check the bestiary. Let's see. Yeah! Absolutely. Yes Man has, like, the same eyes and mouth and all that shit. Yeah. The embodiments of perfect order. Modrons hail from the gear plane of ultimate law. Mechanists. They adhere to a strict caste system, a system so perfect that they cannot comprehend the castes not immediately adjacent to theirs. Their unified mind is so perfect that they have no sense of self or individuality. They have no ambition, no emotion, and exist only to carry out the orders of their superiors. Very yes, man. Of course, in any system, there are bound to be imperfections. It is possible for a Modron to grow in identity and go rogue. You have no idea how this might happen. Uh-oh. I bet it's going to happen. Alright. Do they all say the same thing? Yep. Okay, alright, let's go, Mort. Yeah, same.
Done.
Alright, I think we'll call it here for now. And when next we return, we will talk with more of the people here in the brothel, including Vivian, but we also need to, for Fall from Grace.
It wouldn't kill you to say a few words to me, Fiendling. Or hug me. Or kiss me.
I guess they never talk to one another, huh? In the actual, like, dialogue. It's only just one of them. Huh. Alright. But yeah, when next we return, we'll continue chatting around the brothel. Maybe this is, like, the weirdest situation where we could get someone as a follower. For the other people, I don't think we ever actually asked them. They kind of asked us, no? To join? Or just force themselves upon us in the case of Mort? Right? Peculiar. Anyway, when next we return, more from around here at the brothel, and then maybe we'll go check out the Sensate's other building. The fest hall, right? Which, well, I don't know. Maybe we should save the fest hall for last? Because didn't we get... Yeah, we heard tell that we might find the next lead for Revel there. So maybe we should hold off on that. Oh god, and I can't forget about the Aescar dude way back in that rundown dump of a place in the, like, alleyway. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna keep forgetting about that person until the end of the fucking game. Alright, until next time, please take care of each other.